So, for this video, we'll talk about tricks for solving quadratic-like equations, even if it doesn't look like one. Sounds weird, doesn't it? So, everybody knows that the quadratic formula is pretty useful, but it's also very specific of when you can use it. You have to have the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. That's the only time you can use the quadratic formula. But we can modify things to make it look like that. So let's look at this equation. We have 0 equals the 2x plus 3 in parentheses squared plus 4 times 2x plus 3 in parentheses minus 5. Looks pretty difficult. You could factor out and distribute the first half, distribute the second half, combine like terms, and then solve it from there. That is perfectly acceptable and it will work. The other thing we could do is use a little bit of substitution. So we have 2x plus 3, which is getting squared, and 2x plus 3, which is just getting multiplied by constant. So let's replace 2x plus 3 with just the value k. This will then give us the equation 0 equals k squared plus 4k minus 5. Which, if you know your factoring well, that factors out to k plus 5 times k minus 1, which gives solutions of k equals 1 or k equals minus 5. Now, we're trying to solve for x. So we substituted earlier, so now we have to substitute back. So k is equal to 2x plus 3. So we had to set up these two equations. So 1 equals 2x plus 3, or negative 5 equals 2x plus 3. Once one of those are solved out by subtracting 3 and then divide by 2, we get x equals negative 1 or x equals negative 4. So that was just actually using factoring. Which, once you got to that point where we had to substitute k in, you could have used the quadratic formula as well. But keep in mind, that is solving for k at that point, not for x. So you have to do that next step. Now here's the situation which looks slightly uglier. Which apparently I did not set it up properly to show part at a time, but whatever. You get to see the entire thing all at once. So we have 0 equals x to the 2/3 plus x to the 1/3 minus 2. That looks hideous. But we have rules about exponents that when you have a term raised to another term, you just multiply the exponents. So let's go ahead and pull out the numerators of our exponents, which will then give us x to the 1/3 squared plus x to the 1/3 minus 2. Again, we see something getting squared, the same something without the square, and then there's a constant. So let's replace that something, in this case an x to the 1/3, with k. And we get the equation 0 equals k squared plus k minus 2. With basic, either using quadratic formula or factoring, we get the solutions of k equals 1 or k equals negative 2. But remember, we have to substitute back in what k is, which k is x to the 1/3. Put that in. How do you cancel out a 1/3? Well, when you multiply exponents together, you should get 1, because we just want x to the first. So let's raise these to the third. So 1 to the third, well, that's still just 1. Negative 2 to the third is negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. Well, 2 to the third is 8. 3 negatives, odd number of negatives, gives you a negative answer, so negative 8. Thus, our solutions to this equation is x equals 1 or x equals negative 8. All right, hopefully this helped clarify some ideas for you guys. If not, always feel free to look around, see if you can find other videos, comment in the section below to ask clarifying questions, or come see us. Have an enjoyable day.